Oh, that was the most brutal human deaths ever discovered. This is Chris Reacts. It's European exposes what no one says about U.S. grocery stores. So let us see what this man above me has to say about grocery stores here in my wonderful country of the United States. So, and let's see if I can explain any of his confusion.
This is insane. Look at this. This is crazy. I cannot comprehend this. How big this is. I would get lost in there. Hi and welcome back. And today we're gonna find out what are the most baffling things about your grocery stores. Especially as me, as a European that comes from a totally different culture and also from a totally different size of grocery stores. That is something I really always look forward to. But before we do that, please make sure to hit a like and a subscribe. That would help me so much. And if you want to see more of me, you should definitely check out my channel memberships or Patreon. Link is in the description. And now, let's go.
I have been doing a lot of videos devoted to trying American food for the first time. This video is sponsored by SimpliSafe. After all, there's no safe like SimpliSafe. And something that you don't really see in those videos is the fact that we have to go and get the ingredients from a supermarket. I have two missions on this mission. Number one, to pick up some of the ingredients for Maryland crab cakes, which I'll be making in my next video.
Oh,
And number
they
two,
look
to show
delicious.
you some of the baffling things about American grocery stores. And just as we pull into the parking lot at Jewel Losco, if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, do that now.
I like the way he talks, so the way he's narrating everything. It's actually quite enjoyable. I like it.
Also to his channel, because he makes absolutely awesome videos. I love him.
In the meantime, let's go shopping.
So wait,
What?
you don't have coins? Wait, you don't have coins that you put like in the cart?
Now there, I think Aldi's has that. I don't know if it's Aldi's or if it's a different one, but there are some markets here in the United States that actually do have that, but most don't. So, yeah.
It's incredible. Like, I don't know why are not all of the carts flowing around like on the parking lot or something? That you're so disciplined. That's crazy.
Yeah.
First thing to notice is that you don't have to put any kind of coin
Yeah,
in order to
it's
procure
crazy.
a shopping trolley or cart, as they're known here. This is something you will see at Aldi, which is something that you see at Aldi around the
German chain.
world. But for the most part, American carts don't require it. In the UK,
Yep.
coin-operated trolleys are a bit more prevalent, with some supermarkets employing them and others not. Back in
I think places do that to prevent a lot of the carts being stolen or something, or for them just being blown about for like high winds and storms and stuff when they're outside. But generally, yeah, it's there. We don't have them here. I mean, Aldi's has it, but I'm not sure if anyone other than Aldi's does. We have Cub Foods, we have Walmart, we have Jubilee. There are other one. There used to be a Rainbow Foods. I don't know if that's still around. But yeah, there are other grocery stores and other supermarkets that generally they just don't have coins to hold their shopping carts.
2017, these trolleys made the news when many of them were incapable of accepting Britain's new 12-sided pound coin. You know, I was just
Wait,
thinking
their
about incapable
coin is not round?
accepting Britain's new 12-sided pound coin.
That's crazy. Why is the pound that? Why do you not make just a round
Yeah, why is it not round? Why is it 12-sided? I don't get that. What's the point?
coin?
You know, I was just thinking about something. When we were in Britain, we were walking around one of the superstores out there, and I noticed these stools that I had forgotten about. They used to be in all of the grocery stores in England. They still are, it seems. And you don't see them as often in American grocery stores. Perhaps it's because the shelves are slightly higher up. So the shelf stackers who use those stools in Britain, they need something a bit taller. So usually what you see in grocery stores here are things like ladders to help
Oh
them get
no,
to
you
those
would
higher
never see
spaces
this
so that you
actually.
I wouldn't say they're ladders. They're more like stepping stools. A ladder is something a bit bigger.
Like in Germany, you would more see like, yeah, what he said, like not chimney, like a, you know, like a thing, like a seat without a back thing, without this thing here, basically.
You can see I'm a tall person, I can only just about touch that. And on the subject of size, it won't surprise anyone to learn that American supermarkets are generally bigger than their UK counterparts.
Yeah.
I found this to be especially...
It used to be, it was like in the late 90s. I think it was up until the early 2000s where grocery stores and markets like Walmart sort of combined and they became super centers. So, for a while, Walmart used to just be its own thing. It used to not have a grocery store connected to it. So, yeah, these they had to make them really big.
True at Walmart, whose retail spaces are so big.
This is insane. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I get that for like a lot of Europeans, it would probably be quite confusing to look at. But after a few times of going to the same one, you kind of get the general idea of where everything is. You don't really get lost anymore. You pretty much understand where stuff is. I mean, for the Walmart I used to go to in the town I lived in for like over 10, 15 years, the Walmart there, I can just go in there and instantly know where something is because, you know, it's just, I've gone there so much. It's not confusing. But for Europeans seeing something like this or a Costco or something like that for the first time, I can understand why it would look confusing because there's so much and it's so big.
I cannot comprehend this, how big this is. I would get lost in there.
They're not even supermarkets, but hypermarkets. A hypermarket combines a supermarket with a department store, basically a one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah.
However, it might surprise some to learn that Britain
Wow, that's
has
a
its
great building.
own hypermarkets with the likes of Tesco Extra, usually found on the outskirts of town. That said,
I mean,
at 70,000...
we also have like bigger markets, especially in Germany, like the Kauflands.
Now, for any Europeans that ever watch this or anything, if you want a place that's truly big, massive, go to the biggest mall in the United States. It is called the Mall of America, and it is in my home state of Minnesota. That is the largest mall in America. It basically has freaking everything. It even has its own, like, theme park. Like, Nickelodeon Park or Camp Snoopy or something, whatever it's called right now. It has like a roller coaster, it has rides, it has other stuff in it. It has a movie theater, it has restaurants, department stores, arcades. It has, the Mall of America basically has fucking everything.
Or there are other...
And trust me, Mall of America is massive. It'd probably take you like an hour or so, or maybe a couple hours, just walk the entirety of the store because it is that big.
So we earlier had like a few years ago like a Real. I don't know if we still have it or if it's gone, but it was like double the size, maybe even triple the size of our normal supermarkets, but still not this big, you know, still not this big. Like I would say maybe it's half the size, maybe even less. Yeah.
Square feet, even these don't stack up to those Walmart supercenters, which average about 100,000 square feet.
It's crazy.
I have no idea how to find crab meat. I've never done this. We could just go to Baltimore. I just had to quickly come back from the store because I realised that I forgot to lock the door, and then realised actually that doesn't matter because even if my wife's cousin Chad has found out our address, we are protected by SimpliSafe. Today, the link is in the description below. You won't normally find milk of this size showing up in Asda because we just don't have the fridge space for it. And that's not all. The inclusion of preservatives as well as a different pasteurization method means that American milk actually lasts longer than British milk. So
Really?
Americans can justify buying it by the gallon. But what is a gallon? Because both countries have different ways of defining that. A US gallon measures in at 128 fluid ounces, while a UK gallon equates to 160 fluid ounces. And so you might think, oh, Lawrence, you lied. British milk is bigger. Well, not really, because in the UK, milk is not typically sold by the gallon, but in pints and litres. The largest bottle on the market is
Yeah,
a
in
6-pint
Germany
bottle,
you have
which
like 1 liter, which is around like like 25% of a gallon. Yeah, you have like 1 liter. I don't know, like paper bottles.
The tad small.
I don't know. Look, wait. It's like milk. Milk is milk in Germany, and it's basically something like this. Yeah, it's like made out of like thicker paper. I don't know if
it's cardboard.
Karton. We say carton in German. I don't know if it's the same in English. Yeah.
Than a US gallon, even if a UK pint is 1 1/4 the size of a US pint.
Please hit like and subscribe. It would help me so much. Thank you.
It's all quite confusing.
Yeah, something like those. Exactly, something like those things here.
I think this will just about fit in our fridge. One thing you'll often notice in US grocery stores is the price tag.
If you are going to get milk here in America, don't get the fat-free one, because the red caps are the whole milk, which is actually better for you than the other milks. People think like the fat-free stuff is good for you. You have to understand, sometimes there are good fats and there are bad fats, and you gotta learn to distinguish which one is which. But if you're going to get one of the gallon milks, I would suggest getting the red cap or whatever it is. Just get whole milk. That is better for you than the 1%, the 2%, or the skim milk or the fat-free. It is actually better for you. And don't get any of the nut milks, because that's just not milk. That's just milk-flavored water.
It's very inviting. It usually ends in 99. It makes you think, okay, it's 1 cent cheaper than, say, $8 if it's $7.99. And that's great. So you get the thing, you put it in your cart, and you walk up to the till thinking, all right, great, we've made some good deals here, until sales tax happens. In the US?
I mean, the good thing about the US is that I think like the biggest sales tax you actually have is like 10%, you know.
I don't know if it's throughout the rest of the United States, but at least here in Minnesota, I don't know what it is in other states because I haven't looked it up. There are no tax on food and clothes. Those are the only 2 things that don't get taxed. But the thing I think that Europe does that US should do is they should add on the tax price to the prices of everything else, so you know what you're actually paying, instead of just waiting to see what the tax is when you're checking out. They should update the prices to include the tax, so people know what they're actually paying for the stuff. I think Europe does this. America doesn't, which America should.
In Germany, for example, it's 19. In Poland, for example, it's 23%. So it's not that high, but honestly, that would be one of the things that would fuck me up in the United States. I want to know how much I actually pay, because mostly I'm a guy that, like, when I'm in the grocery store, I calculate how much it is. And I'm mostly not more often like 1 or 2 euros because of some different cents or something like this. So I would not have this pleasure, more like, okay, how much do I actually spend until I'm at a cashier when I always need to add the tax on?
Sales tax is added at the point of purchase, and after 17 years living in the country, I no longer bat an eyelid at this. But having arrived here from a country where value added tax included in the price tag, it did briefly make me reconsider buying a ukulele when I barely had enough money to justify it in the first place.
I mean, you know, I also think probably that America, or the United States of America, is not like a big cash country, right? It's probably like a big, you're way more like digitally advanced than, for example, I think like older people in our country here are, or I would say like the United States is like...
You don't really find many people carrying around cash in their pockets anymore. They usually carry cash if they're going to buy like, you know, stubs or scratch-offs, lottery, you know, stuff like that. Other than that, people don't normally carry cash in their pockets anymore.
Way more digital advanced in many of the age groups, maybe not like the youngest, because I think they're pretty similar. So basically, a lot of Germans love their cash. You know, cash is king in Germany. And there, of course, it would be like, can I spend it? Can I not spend it? But of course, if you pay by card, that's not a problem.
What's this? Refrigerated eggs. This is not something you would see in a British store, where the eggs are usually placed just on a shelf somewhere away from refrigeration. And why is that? It all comes down to both countries' attempts at preventing contamination. In the United States, the USDA mandates that eggs must be washed and sanitized before they reach the consumer. Basically, this is to ensure that it's not covered in chicken The European Union, on the other hand, says that Class A eggs must not be washed, which sounds mental, right? Except the EU believes that washing eggs can do more harm than good. And there's a couple of reasons for this. When a hen lays an egg,
in the end,
it.
you anyways peel the egg, right? So anything that is outside of the skin of the egg or out of the crust, basically, stays outside, so you don't eat it. So basically, it does not matter if you actually wash.
I think eggs actually last longer if you refrigerate them than if you don't. I'm not actually sure on that. Don't quote me on it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It or not, I would say.
In a cuticle in order to protect the egg against contamination once it pops out. Anyway, it's thought that washing eggs can result in the removal of this cuticle, making eggs vulnerable to pathogenic contamination. In America, the USDA requires producers to wash eggs in water with a minimum temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
They are then rinsed with
Fahrenheit.
a special cleaning spray with the intention of eradicating contamination and then dried. Not drying the eggs would mean that the resulting moisture could become a breeding ground for salmonella. Additionally, using cold or dirty water in the cleaning process would cause bacteria to seep in, and there'd be no extra lives for that egg. So what's this got to do with refrigeration? Well, firstly, the USDA free washing the egg can remove the cuticles, so chilling the eggs in store becomes more critical. In Britain and the EU, not so much. One thing that's often mentioned about US grocery...
I mean, to be honest, when I buy eggs, which is not so often because they are so good for my stomach somehow, yeah, I mostly put them anyways in the fridge. So for me, it does not matter if they are washed or not, because I anyways put them in the fridge.
Stores is that the cashiers, when you get to the till, are usually standing up. A lot has been made of how this is not great for, you know, your physical well-being and all of that. We're not used to this in Britain, where they are sitting on a stool. And as somebody who has just rubbish knees, I can completely empathize. On the other hand, arguments in favor of this, usually by those that own the stores, seem to be that standing up looks more professional and that it gives the cashier more range of movement, which, as I'm demonstrating here, is obviously true, and I take back everything I said in the previous scene. But let me know in the comments what you think. Should cashiers be able to sit like they do in Europe, or should they stand like true patriots? Of course.
I think it should be up to the person at the up to the cashier if they want to sit down. It doesn't. I don't think it matters if they're standing or sitting. It just matters to me if they're doing their job. That's all that matters to me. I mean, does it suck to stand on your feet for 4, 8 or more hours without having to sit down or anything? Yes, it does, because I work a full-time job and I'm always on my feet. So yeah, it sucks. It would be nice to sit down, but you know, I work a manual labor job. I need to be on my feet. But for a lot of the cashiers, yeah, it would suck just to stand there without having to sit down. So I think I think it should be up to the cashier. It shouldn't matter if they're standing or sitting. The only thing that should matter is if they're doing their job well or not.
Honestly, I don't care. I just want that the cashiers are as fast as the German ones, and they are fast. Because, you know, I don't want to wait. So I don't care. For me, the most professional cashier is the one that makes it the fastest, basically. I also don't need any small talk. I just want to get my stuff and go out of the store. That's what I want. So I don't care if the guy is standing, sitting, or laying. That would be probably weird, but you know, I don't care about this. You know, grocery shopping is not like a pleasant thing, right? It's just a thing that you need to do. So basically, I just want to get over it.
Increasingly, both countries are adopting self-checkouts, and Chicago's Jewel
I hate those though, because I mostly buy like baked goods, and there are always those tiny pictures, and I'm always like, and there are always two things that look very similar, and I'm always like, did I buy now this one or this one? So I never use self-checkouts, because I'm always like, I don't know exactly which one, and then there are 50 different menus. And
for the self-checkout, I think for me it depends on how much stuff I have. If I don't have that much stuff, then yeah, I'll probably do a self-checkout because it goes a lot quicker. But if I have a decent amount of stuff, then yeah, I'm going to use an actual cashier, because, you know, I don't want to go through the self-checkout and do all that stuff myself. I'll let the person whose job it is to check myself out to do it.
Where's your baked good exactly? Yeah, so I hate those.
I'm well practiced in this, and in fact, self-checkouts are, I think, amazing, because you don't have to talk to anybody unless you're buying alcohol. But I quit alcohol, and that was one of the reasons. Being social. What's going on with that? That no eggs. What? I used to be good at it. Yeah, that did it. We did it. That's good. Old Bay seasoning.
How many store-provided bags did you use?
Oh yeah, I have
Zero.
such a one also.
And of course, with Britain
They're
and
great.
America being two nations divided by a common language, you can't really talk about grocery stores without talking about some of the terminological differences. A big one, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is trolley versus shopping cart. And of
Yeah,
course,
there
when you
I'm
come
with the Americans, to be honest.
to in Britain, you go to the till. In America, it's the cash register. And one that stood out to me recently, as people that don't usually go in store, in fact, go to the curbside pickup lanes in Britain, which I'm surprised to say does have curbside pickup. It's just there, it's called click and collect. If you liked this video, be sure to watch 8 American habits that confused me as a Brit. Until the next video, goodbye.
Great video. As always, great video. There were a few things that shocked me. I mean, the egg one, I don't know, like doing a channel for over a year now, I have heard this and I've come across this. But like that you don't have those little euro, of course euros you don't have, right? But like that you don't put a coin or something like this in your card. That was actually mind-blowing to me. And also I don't remember, I think I have heard that you're standing, but I don't.
For the coin for the cart thing, when I first saw it when all these came, I was surprised for that because, you know, growing up here in America, I've never seen shopping carts have, you know, a coin thing to be attached to each other, you know, in order to get the cart. I thought it was dumb. I mean, you obviously get the coin back, but I thought it was dumb. I mean, just why? But, you know, it's a thing, I guess, but you know, it's just me.
I don't necessarily remember if I heard this or if it's just like, oh yeah, it could be. So yeah. So tell me, what are the things that maybe you have experienced maybe in Mexico, in Canada, or wherever you have been in another country that threw you off, that were totally different? I would love to know them. And I hope we see each other in the next video. Until then, keep liking, subscribing, and bye. Thank you so much.
All right. That was Chris reacts to stuff for American grocery stores.
Police